welcome to page 11. We are continuing on with lesson 2 about ethics and artificial intelligence. So let's read the article below, and there are some questions in this one to answer ahead of time, or to answer as we're reading. So we're going to explore ethical issues in AI, but let's take a look first at the questions that we have to answer so that we know what to look for when we're writing or when we're reading. So question number 1 says, what are some examples of bias propagation mentioned in the text, and how do they manifest in the AI systems? That's a big word. That's a big question. So remember the last video I told you, here's a question. Let's go in and ask it to answer this for me. So I'm just going to put a copy here. Actually, I'll just continue on. So what is this question asking me? And I'm going to put that there. And let's see what AI tells us. The question is asking for examples of how bias spreads as described in the text and how these bias appear in the AI system. It wants you to identify specific instances of bias mentioned and explain how they show up in technology. So in the reading, we're going to read about that and it's going to show up, right? So that's the first question. So we need to find examples of how bias is showing up in the AI system. So bias and in the AI system. The next question, how does the text describe the issues of unintended plagiarism in relation to AI tools? So that's something we're going to look for, issues of unintended plagiarism. And notice here I'm highlighting things or underlining things so that I can quickly see them when I'm reading and kind of remember what to look for. And then finally, the last question says, according to the text, how can reliance on AI generate content without proper verification contribute to the spread of misinformation? So how can, my kitty's purring right now. If you're generating AI or using AI to generate content for like social media and you create some information, how is that contributing to the spread of misinformation? So how is it contributing to the spread of misinformation? Can someone just go on AI and create something randomly and say it's true? Think about that one. So let's go ahead and take a look and read the article. Exploring ethical issues in AI. AI ethics involves responsibly releasing and using AI, considering factors like data etiquette, etiquette, and development risk. This article delves into ethical challenges that arise when AI systems, especially machine learning systems, when ethical considerations are overlooked. So some common ethical issues in AI. First one, bias propagation. AI systems can perpetuate biases, including racial and gender biases. That means they can make them worse. If you need to write that there, you can write that there. But perpetuating a bias means to continue it, make it keep going. So for instance, some recruiter tools have shown bias against women candidates in favor of men in the tech industry. Facial recognition systems often make more errors with minority groups and people of color, highlighting biases in the data they are trained on. So some things that we can highlight here. Actually, I'm going to underline them. Let's underline them. I don't want to do red. Let's underline them green. So there's racial and gender biases, right? Favoring one candidate over another, and then making more errors. So they're making more errors with minority groups and people of color because of the data. And I'm going to highlight this one because this is important. It's because of the data that they're trained on. So if there's bias in the data, then that's why the AI is going to be biased. Okay, unintended plagiarism. Generative AI tools may generate content without proper attribution. That means they're not saying where it's coming from. That can lead to unintentional plagiarism. This issue is observed in artwork generators that combine elements from various artists, raising questions about copyright ownership. So it's combining different elements, and this is going to be true about if you're looking for quotes and stuff. If you just quote AI, you don't know where it got that information from, and you might be using someone's information that they wrote, and you're not giving them the proper attribution, or you're not saying that they're the ones that wrote it. So that's why you got to be careful when you're using it, and that's how unintended plagiarism happens. Technology misuse. Tools like deepfakes can manipulate images and videos, leading to misinformation and fraud. Misuse of AI tools by individuals and organizations can have detrimental effects on society. So, you've seen this before. Oh, the articles that say some famous person has passed away, or says so-and-so had a baby with so-and-so, and they create these fake images. Those things cause issues in society. So think about the issues that those cause. Now let's take a look at the first two questions, and let's think about how we can answer them. So what are some examples of bias in the AI system? So we have a couple highlighted, and you don't have to do a full sentence unless I answer the questions. We can go ahead and do bullet points. Okay, that's fine for this one. So there's racial and gender biases. And there's errors with minorities and people of color. And based on the data it was given. So if data is biased, then the AI will be too. We'll say could be. That was more a longer sentence than... It was more a sentence than it was a bullet point, but that's okay. So how does the text describe the issue of unintended plagiarism? So it talks about how AI tools may generate content without proper attribution, right? So you can write this in your own sentence if you want, or you can just copy and paste it. But remember, if it's someone's words, which it is, you can put that there. So we're going to quote that, and then we can say it is combining information, images, sound, etc. from many sources. So that is 1 and 2. So we have both of those. If you need to go back to the video and watch that, go ahead. And the final thing is we're looking how AI can create content without contribute. Well, let's see. According to the text, how can reliance on AI generate content without proper verification contribute to the spread of misinformation? So let's take a look at this. We're going to go to number 5, widespread misinformation. Reliance on AI generated content without proper verification can lead to the spread of false information. So, if you do not verify the information and share it, you are helping at spreading misinformation. Now, why is this important? So all of this is stuff like, well, yeah, if you spread a lie, it's going to be a lie. But AI makes it a lot easier for people to spread this misinformation because it's easy to quickly generate something, right? It could be like, hey, create this to make society scared, and that's something you want to really focus on and make sure that you're not contributing to. But all of this comes back and talks about how AI can have good and bad. So this article is exploring ethical challenges associated with AI, emphasizing issues, and let's make a big issues like bias propagation, meaning bias is growing because of the data, plagiarism, there's technology misuse, unfair advantages, and misinformation. So these problems are often unintended. While they're often unintended, steps can be taken to minimize their impact through responsible AI development and usage. Sorry about that. My cat was jumping through the window. So go ahead and write down some of these notes. If you did some of the annotations, that's great. I really like when you do the annotations because it shows that you watched the video and that you're understanding what you are listening to.